Hi. Huh. So, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a interesting day, I feel. Started off lovely. Got myself a little Chinatown massage. Massages are lovely. I'm here in wonderful company sharing a story. And after this, I think I'm going to pick up a bouquet of flowers and head to a voice coaching lesson, which could be fun. Monday night was the first time that I sang with a live band or people playing instruments as opposed to karaoke. This is the first time. It's very fun. I wish I knew the songs they were hoping I knew. Give me a list of songs. It's very fun. I've always wanted to sing. My mother's like amazing vocalist. She sang gospel and opera. And today I'm having a voice coach lesson with someone who has background in opera, was paid to do shows, so they get it, they studied it, they know voice, and they also know how to train and teach and educate. He's a lovely person, and the background with him and I was that he was the first person who tied me with rope as well. I found interest in shibari and suspension and that sensation and the visual aspect, and I was searching for the right person to help me experience it, because you can have a partner and figure it out together, but that's kind of annoying, and some partners are dumb and don't get it. So I was searching groups and workshops and people on social media, Instagram, FetLife. And I found a handful of shibari artists, performers, educators, whatever, and there were 3 that I was very interested in, one being a female who I had my high hopes on because, the idea is hot. And comfort, sometimes you feel you have it more with a woman for some reason. But the one that was most receptive, after going to some workshops and seeing how they navigate and how they communicate, and they're just a cute, super sweet, goofy nerd, excited about everything, and very attractive. But yeah, no, I decided that would be the person that gave me that first experience 4 years ago. And I did. He tied me, and it seemed like for 2 hours in all the weird, crazy positions and ways. I was upside down. Like at first it was just, okay, we're gonna do floor ties, but then I guess he felt receptive to what I was giving off. So yeah, he noticed that I was capable of enduring a little more and suspended me. Had my hair bound up. It was, I imagine beautiful. I was blindfolded, so I can't really see what I look like. But it was amazing. It was a great experience, and I continued to go to his workshops and see some of his performances, because he does perform this. People are getting on board. They're like, this is fun, this is pretty, so it's becoming mainstream in certain things. He's a good guy. So I've reconnected, like that was a couple years ago, and there was distance because my primary partner is, weird things in life, so I haven't really saw them much until recently, this year, February. I reached out. I'm like, hey, I want to continue. The reason why I want it to be tied is not necessarily to be submissive and experience it on that level. I am more what one would say is a sensual dom. So I like to create sensations and overwhelm, and that is one that I want to learn. But in order to really learn it, I feel like I have to experience it. And it's great that he was the one that I chose, because on top of him being a dom, he's not a dom. He's switchy like me. I'm switchy. So he reacts to the actions and the energies. He's not a dom. No, he endures and receives as well. So he gets it. Which a lot of people are like, I'm a dom. But do you know what that means? Do you know where you're creating? Like, there's a lot of people who don't get it. So that was, lovely to realize. And he's queer. And, I just found more comfort in that interaction with him. We've not necessarily been intimate and had intercourse in the way that people think it is. But sensations have been created, and they've been lovely. I brought friends for private sessions. I think so far in this time, I brought maybe 3 lovely ladies, and he's just looking at me like, what is going on? Like, how is this happening? I'm like, I don't know either. I'm there with you. I guess I get lucky, and he's just reaping the benefits of my being lucky. But, every time is a beautiful experience, to see everybody involved and what they're coming away with and the conversations had afterwards. It's just lovely. So I consider him somewhat a mentor. And like I said, he has background in opera and education, and I've had so many people come up to me, hey, I could help you with voice coaching things. And I'm like, oh, why, should I invest in that? No, I don't, I don't know. But yeah, why not? Why not? It's not necessarily a long-term investment. It's a right now I'm having fun investment, or, I'm just having fun. Do the thing, sing. And also having that kinky aspect with him and singing could be interesting. He mentioned some things that I could already have. I could tell his brain is spinning with, we could involve kink and singing. So I'm very curious. That's later, what that's going to be like. No, he's good people. Interesting life and situations. Yeah.
So how do you think you would integrate kink with singing?
I don't know, man. I'm just going to see what happens. I imagine, I was shot a couple times in terms of photography before. A friend just did one little quick portrait of me and my cat. And then it's really interesting. I'm lucky to have met him, weirdly. Kink photographer who was a skateboarder and then photographer, and then just interesting life they lead. He shot me just, for fun. It was fun. And then the official, my friend gonna do voice coaches to me, officially was the first time I was shot nude and bare and just as me. And he's just just do the things. And one of my major insecurities, and he likes to push those, face your fucking fear. One of my major insecurities, he didn't know, but I know he knew from the way I navigated and moved my body and the experiences we had in the past. But my back, it's not sleek, it's not tight, it's pillowy and plush. And he works with rope. So he saw something in me in a position. He's like, stay like that and tense up, and started directing me. And the focus was my back and allowing the shapes to form, because it's a soft back. And I'm like, fuck, I know what it is. I know what he's doing. But then in that same breath, fuck it, let him do the thing. He tied me up and then created these shapes with the ropes and the way my that kind of bubbled or whatever. They were beautiful images. They were. I was dreadfully insecure because I knew what the focus was, but in the same breath, man, it came out lovely. So I have a feeling he's gonna like push me to he's gonna do something interesting. I don't know, maybe sing in the park. I can imagine him suggesting that, or I don't know, being nude and like tippy toes or tied, or maybe suspend. Oh my God, he did this beautiful video with an amazing vocalist who I saw recently. Oh my God, I'm so lucky to be able to see these people in New York in real life. But he did this one video with a amazing songstress, Daisy Press. She does a lot of like Celtic opera-ish. I don't know, like it just sounds witchy and beautiful. But they did this thing. I did not see it live. I saw a video where she is tied, bound, and suspended and singing, and he's singing, and this whole energy is like happening, and they have a little audience, and it's so pretty to see that exist, you know, like they merged singing and kink in a form that was so pretty, and yeah, they could do it. I mean, I don't know. He might just be like stand up straight or like learn to breathe or do this. Like we didn't really talk about things. Like I let him figure it out, and every experience I've had with him has been lovely. Yeah. But yeah, there's a way to integrate. One of my first Dom experiences was hilarious. I want to write a book, and I started writing about short stories of my experiences. And this one story was the first one I started writing. It's hilarious. Oh God, somebody I met on like one of the sites, like maybe 7, 8 years ago. My first Dom experience. I'm like, you know, see what this is about. Then we met at a bar in Fort Greene near the park. And we were talking, and there was karaoke going on, and it was just interesting because the conversations or the interaction, you know, on digital side was very like, ugh. And then here's this person that's supposed to present as my Dom in front of me, like just as nervous and shaky as I am, you know. It's just like talking about, oh, hey, how was your day? Blah, blah, you know, like the niceties of meeting. And yeah, I work in salons, and he was asking what I do. You know, I was a manager at that moment in that time. He's like, oh, so you don't wash hair? And I'm like, no. But that's fun. I actually like washing people's hair. It's really, it's fun. But I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I you know, make sure everybody's getting paid and doing their thing. He's like, oh, I need a haircut. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that for you. And we lock on our eyes. He's like, yeah? And I'm like, but what do I get out of this? You know? And it's like, you know, we clicked. And it's like, I get you. Okay, I know what we're doing here. Yeah, that night I said, fuck it, you know. He's like, let's go to my place. You could check out my art. I'm like, oh, fuck, art. You're an artist. Oh, great. Some of my previous interactions, like, I'm an artiste. And they're just very, like, oh, I mean, I've met some terrible people. But sure. So we go to his place. It's beautiful. 1 bedroom in Fort Greene. I'm jealous of a lot of people's apartments. And art everywhere, like abstract, like colors, vibrant, you know, and it's pretty. And he had a dog, Bella, who could not get her muff away from my bits, which was hilarious. We were laughing about that a bit. This person, this person lingered in my life a lot longer than I expected initially. I just wanted the one experience. But anyways, the one experience. So I was wearing these heels, and he had hardwood floors, and every time I was looking at the art and I stepped, he cringed, and I felt it, and I saw it in his his grunts and his facial expression. He cringed. I just left him on. I was like, this could be fun. I'm like, fuck it, what's gonna happen? I mean, he could kill me, but if that's the way, then that was the way. But he, asked me to take it off. I'm like, fine. I took off my shoes, and he poured us bourbon, sat on his bed, and I'm looking around, and his bed is set up it's there. It's maybe like a railroad, but he could close it off to be a one. It was a nice apartment. He sat on his bed. He's like, come sit. And I'm like, all right. So he had both glasses of bourbon in his hand, and I go to reach it, and it slips and crashes to the floor, and bourbon's everywhere, and the shards of glass. He's like, seriously? I'm like, my bad, sorry, not intentional. And he's like, you're gonna pick every piece up. And then he turned on, he was focused, okay, I guess we're playing, this is my first dom experience, no communications. I'm like, I'm gonna roll with whatever this is, see what's gonna happen. And it doesn't hurt that he was very handsome. So I'm like, fine. I get up paper towels and pick up the glass and put the glass in there, and wiped it up and cleaned. And he's like, good girl. I'm like, oh, cool. I mean, I wanted to experience this, so I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, now get on the bed. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, trying this thing out. And I get on the bed. I'm like, all right, so what do we do now? He's like, okay, get on all fours. I'm not actually saying anything. I'm just doing the things in my mind. I'm like, just going with it. I guess that's probably what everybody's going through in this kind of situation. Get on all fours on the bed, and I just feel him. He's not touching me, but I feel him hovering over my body. I was still wearing a very short skirt, underwear, and tank. I think it was summer. And I feel his breath, he's trying to breathe me in or something. And he doesn't touch me. He's just like, okay. And then I'm on all fours. He sits in front of me, legs sprawled, just staring at me in my face, smiling. And he's like, you're gonna give me a bath right now? I'm like, okay. I guess we're doing that. Yes, so I had to draw him a bath. Oh my God, everything. Oh my God, I drew him a bath. And yeah, he still hasn't touched me. And I'm like, this is peculiar, not, and that's why conversations are important. It's not exactly what I was expecting, but then I didn't know what the fuck, I was young and not aware of all the kinks and dynamics and things that are out there in this world. So it's the first time I'm seeing him nude as he's walking in the bath, and he says, you should be nude too. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, out. And he's, very nice form, beautiful creature, art himself. And I'm bathing him, and then I see this this weird transition from him being very sneery and very aggro and focused to once he gets in there and I start lathering him and bathing him, this softness comes, and then he becomes sweet. And I'm like, whoa, intimacy and touch is definitely a thing. And yeah, he melted in the bathtub, in the puddle. It was interesting. Yeah, and then, finished, toweled him off. I was a fucking servant. And then he's like, okay. He had this archway in between the bedroom, kitchen thing that's closed off, whatever. And he brings me to this archway in the center, just below it, and looks at me, looks up, and I look up to what he's looking to, and he has these, like, shackles. I'm like, all right, I have a feeling I know where your mindset's at. He's like, but I need something else. And he grabs 3 encyclopedias because I was too short. And he had me stand on these 3 encyclopedias, and then he locked me on to these. He's like, no conversations had. This dude is an asshole. But I'm like, all right, I'm doing the thing. I'm like, fuck it, because, I'm about the experiences, luckily, but still, you should have that fucking conversation. My first time. We didn't. It's cool. So I'm shackled. I'm like, this is scary and exciting and interesting. I think more so kind of where I'm wanting to explore, sensations. And he had a writing crop, and he's like, all right, so I'm gonna whip you. It's gonna hurt. Are we okay with that? And I'm like, you already tied me up. Does it matter now? And I think I did voice that. He's like, shh. That's important. And so I'm like, yeah, no, it's cool. I'm here to experience whatever it is you're doing. And he whips me tremendously, and it was crazy. I laughed. I didn't know how to react, and it was intense. And I just felt each whip and each stroke. And when he was done, he, is an artist and left quite a big masterpiece on my bum and other areas. And it did actually very much look like the art that was on his walls. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, he's an interesting feller. I wonder how he is today. That's it. I don't know. Yeah. I hope he doesn't watch this.